Former CEO of Google Eric Schmidt just made a shocking claim about what's coming next in the AI industry.
In the industry, it is believed that somewhere around 5 years, no one knows exactly, the systems will begin to be able to write their own code. That is, they literally will take their code and make it better.
He later goes on to explain how this will have major impact on sectors like physics, chemistry, and even art, and claims humans are just not ready for it. Next, Physical Intelligence has developed a general-purpose robot foundation model called Pi0. This model is trained on images, text, and actions, and acquires physical intelligence by training on embodied experience from robots. Their long-term goal is to develop artificial physical intelligence so that users can simply ask robots to perform any task they want. Lastly, users were able to access OpenAI's full O1 model for a couple of hours last Friday using a modified ChatGPT link. The main thing people noticed before it got shut down was its insane image capabilities. In this video, we'll take a look at some examples of OpenAI's full O1 model in action and see if it lives up to its expectations. So this clip I'm about to show you is from a panel in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where they had a few prominent figures in the tech industry speak about AI. One of them being former Google CEO Eric Schmidt, and what he said is absolutely mind-blowing. Take a look.
In the industry, it is believed that somewhere around 5 years, no one knows exactly, the systems will begin to be able to write their own code. That is, they literally will take their code and make it better. And of course, that's recursive. I thought that is essentially a change in slope. If you're going like this, all of a sudden it goes like that. It's reasonable to expect that within 6 to 8 years from now, so 2030 right after that, maybe 2032, under current growth rate, it will be possible to have a single system that is 80 or 90% of the ability of the expert in every field. So 90% of a physicist, 90% of the best physicist, 90% of the best chemist, 90% of the best artist. When you have such a thing, you have a non-human that is effectively smarter than any human, because no human can dominate all of those fields. Maybe Leonardo da Vinci could, but certainly not now. We don't know what happens when such a thing exists, but we know that that race is really important. There are many, many things that this thing, we don't know what to call it except an AGI, could do. For example, it could analyze cyber threats and develop new ones, or it could protect against them. It could come up with new biological solutions, good ones or bad ones. So there's both a national security component and a worry, but also a notion of a huge step change in human efficiency and productivity. I will assert that we as humans are not ready for the arrival of this. Yeah. We're just not ready for it.
So he's literally claiming here that within roughly 5 years, AI systems will be able to improve themselves, which will lead to an intelligence explosion, which will lead to artificial general intelligence, which will then lead to AI systems smarter than every human being. Believe it or not, a lot of people actually believe this will happen a lot sooner. Here's a page from ex-OpenAI researcher Leopold Aschenbrenner's paper called Situational Awareness. He attempts to map out the exponential progress we are seeing in AI systems. He found that around 2027 to 2028 is when we can expect to have automated AI research, or AI systems that can improve themselves, as Eric Schmidt talked about, which again would cause an intelligence explosion quickly leading to AGI. Personally, I think we'll achieve an AGI level system by the end of this decade, probably around 2030 based off the progress I've seen and what high-level people in the space have said. I'm curious to hear your predictions though for when you think we will achieve AGI. Let me know in the comments. In other news, AI video models may not be as intelligent as they seem. This paper titled "How Far is Video Generation from World Model, a Physical Law Perspective" has been making a lot of noise in the AI space. People like Gary Marcus, who are known AI skeptics, are pointing to it stating, until we solve this, we won't get to AGI. To give you a sense of what the paper is about, here's a quick and simple summary from the abstract. OpenAI's Sora highlights the potential of video generation for developing world models that adhere to fundamental physical laws. However, the ability of video generation models to discover such laws purely from visual data without human priors can be questioned. A world model learning the true law should give predictions robust to nuances and correctly extrapolate on unseen scenarios. In this work, we evaluate across 3 key scenarios: in distribution, out of distribution, and combinatorial generalization. We developed a 2D simulation tested for object movement and collisions to generate videos deterministically governed by one or more classical mechanics laws. This provides an unlimited supply of data for large-scale experimentation and enables quantitative evaluation of whether the generated videos adhere to physical laws. So they developed a way to test if AI video models actually grasp physical laws, and they claim to have proof that they don't. Here's an example of a classic AI video model trained to predict the next frame, failing to generate a blue circle as it has only been trained on blue squares. It does this again, turning a red square into a red circle. And finally, when attempting to generate a collision between two synthetic circles in the simulation, which is something it hasn't been trained on, instead of changing directions of the red circle, which would make physical sense, it simply erases it. So in conclusion, they found that AI video models achieved a perfect score when generating scenarios that they were previously trained on, but often failed when generating scenarios they've never seen. This is essentially clear-cut proof that these models aren't able to generalize and don't inherently understand the world and its physical laws. They also found that the more training data you give the model, the better it can do, so theoretically, if you're able to train a model on all the data in the world, I guess you would then have a true world model even with this current architecture. Now, here's an approach that could eventually make training data irrelevant. This company, Physical Intelligence, is focusing on creating embodied AI systems that can acquire physical intelligence. This is their general purpose robot foundation model called Pi-0. The difference between this and typical humanoid robots or robotic arms is that Pi-0 isn't trained on any one specific task, it's trained on an array of tasks and actions and learns through embodied robot experience. Here's an excerpt directly from their website. It states, "There is no such treasure trove of robot data, so to enable a robot to learn a new skill, large amounts of data need to be collected with that particular robot and for that particular application. If we could train a single generalist robot policy that can perform a wide range of different skills and control a wide range of different robots, we would overcome this challenge. Such a model would only need a little bit of data from each robot and each application. Just as a person can learn a new skill quickly by drawing on a lifetime's worth of experience, such a generalist robot policy could be specialized to new tasks with only modest amounts of data." So we'll definitely be keeping our eye on this company if they can truly build a foundational model for humanoid robots that allows them to generalize and adapt to novel environments, then we can have these things in our home sooner than we might think. Oh, and they also just raised another $400 million from big names like Jeff Bezos and OpenAI at a $2.4 billion valuation, which is pretty wild. In other AI news, do you guys remember that AI agent civilization in Minecraft called Project Sid? They basically created a Minecraft world and put thousands of autonomous AI agents in it, and over time they found that these agents started to work together and actually form a civilization. They traded with each other, created their own currencies, formed religions, and even voted on political policies. The technical report has now been released, and the CEO of Altera went over their major findings in a recent Twitter post. What will a world look like with 100 billion digital human beings? Today we share our tech reports on Project Sid, a glimpse at the first AI agent civilization, powered by our new piano architecture. So here he states, Project Sid shows civilizational progress, specialization, governance, and the invention and spread of memes and religion. This is possible due to their novel piano architecture. Imagine the keys of a piano as different brain modules. Played together, they can produce beautiful chords, or in our case, emergent human-like qualities in agents. They also found that agents could form lasting relationships. We show agents accurately inferring other sentiments, forming lasting friendships and rivalries, and having introverts naturally form fewer connections than extroverts in societies of many agents. Here was another really interesting part. When we put initially identical agents in a village, they self-developed distinct professions like farmers and engineers. Removing social awareness led to agents choosing more homogeneous roles that didn't persist across time. So AI agents that were exact copies of one another ended up pursuing two completely different occupations, meaning they were literally influenced by their environment, or more specifically, other agents in the simulation. Now, can AI agents develop and modify their own laws? He states, "We tested this by implementing a tax system. They not only followed tax laws, but also democratically voted to change rates based on public sentiment." Pretty crazy. Finally, can AI agents develop their own culture? We observed the organic spread of memes and tracked how agents primed with a fictional religion, Pastafarianism, spread through agent societies. Rural areas show different cultural patterns versus towns. So these AI agent simulations are honestly starting to freak me out a bit. I mean, just think about how this will play out in the long run. Eventually these simulations will be so good that they may even be indistinguishable from reality, and the agents within them might not even realize they're in a simulation. It really makes you wonder. Now, getting into the OpenAI O1 leak, the main thing people noticed was its incredible image capabilities. As we know, OpenAI's O1 preview model was a major leap ahead on reasoning-heavy benchmarks, and we can expect the full O1 model to be even better. As you can see from this example, the full O1 model is able to analyze this picture of a SpaceX rocket launch step by step in an extremely detailed manner. This is something current AI models can already do, but with O1's advanced reasoning capabilities, it's able to do it much more accurately and detailed. Here is a better example where the full O1 model attempts to solve an image puzzle. The question it has to answer is how many triangles are in this image. After thinking for nearly 2 minutes, it spits out an extremely lengthy and detailed explanation of its entire chain of thought reasoning and the final answer. It ends up with a final answer of 27 triangles, different from GPT-4o's answer of 19 triangles. According to the comments and some quick internet research, it appears that the correct answer is actually 24 triangles. themselves. So it ends up still getting it wrong even after thinking for almost 2 minutes. I'm not sure what to think of this. It seems like the full O1 model, which is set to release this year, might not actually be that much better than O1 preview, unfortunately. Although keep in mind, this is only O1, we're still going to be getting an O2 model, and then an O3, and an O4, and so on. Finally, to close out the video, there were a few quick announcements from this week that I wanted to include. The first being OpenAI acquiring chat.com for $15 million. So as of right now, if you type in chat.com, it will bring you straight to ChatGPT, which was previously chatgpt.com and still is. If you type in chatgpt.com, you will still get directed to ChatGPT, but they seem to be heading towards a rebranding of some sort. It was also apparently one of the top 2 all-time publicly reported domain sales. Next, we have Anthropic releasing Claude 3.5 Haiku. Haiku is fast and particularly strong at coding. It outperforms state-of-the-art models including GPT-4o on SWE Bench Verified, which measures how models solve real software issues, and it's available right now. Lastly, Unitree shared a new demo of their humanoid robot that learned to walk in a very human-like manner in only 2 days. I mean, just look at how natural its walk looks. It's not too stiff or robotic, for lack of a better word. It actually looks very smooth, and keep in mind this is in real time. It's not sped up whatsoever. Even their robot dog can walk on 2 legs, and it could even withstand some pretty hefty blows. Anyways, that's all the AI news for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to leave a like. And as always, if you want to stay up to date on future AI news just like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button.